Good morning, my friends. How are you? So, today I am going to continue our conversation on the nature of our so called physical body and also expand on the idea that your soul never enters a body. In other words, your soul never incarnates. And also the idea that in fact there is no such thing as a physical body, that the physical body is actually a human construct for a non-physical experience. So this is complicated, and I've kind of addressed it in many ways over the years, and I apologize for being redundant at times or frequently, and possibly saying the same thing from a different perspective. But for me personally, over the years, as I have lived my life obsessing about one thing and also focusing on it, which is called dharana, and meditating on it, and then ultimately transcending it, actually reveals a deeper truth. You get closer to truth. And then when you expand on it by speaking, it clarifies your own thinking. And also, when I get feedback from you, it helps my thinking as well. So it's all kind of good, I think. And if you find me too repetitive and redundant, let me know, and then I will respond to your feedback, and that's how we learn. Okay, so I'm going to approach today's topic as if you're listening for the first time. Okay, so today's topic is that you never incarnate. Your soul never incarnates. And in that, you never actually experience an embodied self. And furthermore, your body is not made of anything physical. Now, of course, this goes against everyday thinking. It also goes against everyday science. And in many cases, it goes against everyday religion and various forms of spirituality. Once again, I am saying that your soul never incarnates, and that there is no such thing as a physical body. And also, I'm going to discuss why this is important for how we live our lives. So if you are game for this, I can start right now, because I see that we are already over 1,000 people in this wonderful ecosystem of relationships, and our goal here is to understand reality. I see Ramanand Dixit is here, Aurora Carlson, Trista, Felicity Morse, and Mark, and so many other wonderful friends from all over the world. So let's go. Okay, let's start with something very simple. And that something very simple is, how do you know that anything exists? How do you know that you exist? How do you know that the color red exists? How do you know that that books exists? How do you know that your body exists? How do you know that a thought exists? How do you know that a feeling exists? How do you know that an image exists? How do you know that a sensation exists? How do you know that a perception exists? Well, we know that such things exist, or we think we know that such things exist because of an awareness of such existence. Okay. Existence is known through the awareness of existence. Okay. Always. Existence is known through the awareness of existence. Whatever form that existence takes. This book exists. This hand exists. These goggles, or shall I say these glasses, they exist. How do I know? Because of an awareness of these objects. And before I call them objects, they are experiences. Everything that exists, before you label it as a book or a hand or these glasses or a nose, before you label it as that particular object, it's an experience. And it's a very interesting experience. I've said the experience is one of qualia entanglement. Qualia means qualities of experience. And these qualities of experience are sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions. They are modified activities of awareness. They are modified activities of awareness, which means awareness modifies itself as a sensation, as an image, as a feeling, as a thought. How do we know this? How do we prove this? Well, you can prove it to yourself right now. Think of the color red. Close your eyes and think of the color red. Think of a rainbow. Think of a beautiful sunset on the ocean. Think of the Empire State Building. Think of your mother. Think of someone you love. On and on. And as soon as you think of them, you have an experience. If you think of the color red, you experience the color red somewhere in consciousness. If you think of a rainbow, you experience an image of the rainbow, not in your brain because there's no images in the brain, but in awareness. Awareness modifies itself into that experience, whether it's a color, a shape, a form, a sensation, any of the five senses, the experience of seeing, the experience of hearing, tasting, smelling, and sensing, any sensation. As soon as you put attention, awareness, intention into a thought or an image, it evokes the whole experience. And that totality of experience we call mind, body, and physical world. Now, of course, this argument, is the world physical, is the world mental, has been going on for a long time. As far back as Plato in the West, and as far back as the great sages of the Upanishads and the Eastern philosophers and the wisdom traditions of the world, East and West, this argument has been going on a long time. We know that when the great Dr. Samuel Johnson dismissed the statement of Bishop Berkeley, who was an idealist, he did so by kicking a stone. He was being told that the world is not physical, and then Dr. Samuel Johnson, the famous philosopher, British philosopher, he kicked a stone and he said, "I refute you thus." And that has been an argument that has been used against idealism for now hundreds of years, a couple of hundred years. That I believe that was somewhere in the 18th or 17th century. I'd have to look it up. But that argument has been called argumentum ad lapidem, which means a statement which is fallacious because it fails to address the merits of the claim in dispute. The same applies to proof by assertion, where an unproved or disproved claim is asserted as true on no ground other than that of its truth having been asserted. So Dr. Samuel Johnson claimed to disprove Bishop Berkeley's immaterial philosophy, that there are no material objects, only minds and ideas in those minds, by kicking a large stone and asserting, "I refute it thus." This action, which is said to fail to prove the existence of the stone outside the ideas formed by perception, is said to fail to contradict Berkeley's statement or argument, and has been seen as merely dismissing it without actually disproving it. So the pain that occurs from hitting a stone, the leg that hits the stone, and the stone are all perceptual and cognitive experiences in consciousness. The stone is a modified form of consciousness, the leg is a modified form of consciousness, and the pain is also a modified form of consciousness. So it's consciousness that is modifying itself into that experience, perceptual and also mental, all at the same time. Okay. So why do I say that the body is not physical? Well, the only way you know that which you call your physical body, the only way you know that is by having an awareness of it. Now, if you just close your eyes right now and listen to me, then your experience will be as follows. You'll be hearing sound. You might experience sensations in your body. You might be thinking about what I'm saying. So you'll experience sensations, you'll experience thoughts, and you'll experience sound. You may also experience images as I say this. So as I say this, and your eyes are closed, you are experiencing just sensations, images, thoughts, and sounds. And none of these have a physical presence in the world. None of these have a physical presence in the world. None of them. Sound is the hearing of it. The hearing creates the experience of sound. Color, shape, and form is the seeing. Seeing creates colors, shapes, and forms that get entangled, superimposed, and separate, creating the illusion of the theater of space-time and causality. Okay. Seeing actually creates the experience that we call the scenery. And the scenery includes that which we call the physical body. But now, with your eyes closed, the scenery is only mental. There's no physical universe. Now, as soon as you open your eyes, suddenly you perceive a physical world and you perceive a physical body. And so you come to the conclusion that everything that was previously mental is actually physical because you're seeing it. You're seeing the scenery. But if you understand that seeing produces shapes, colors, and forms, which are qualia, then nothing is physical. And not even that. It's intermittent and it's changing, and it's not graspable. Ramanand Dixit just made the comment, Jagat Mithya, the world appearance. The world appearance creates the appearance of your body as well. And yes, it's Advait Vedanta. So according to Advait Vedanta, which is non-dualism, fundamental monistic non-dualism, that which we call the physical world and that which we call the physical body is an intermittent experience of perceptions, constantly changing. Okay, constantly changing, ungraspable. The continuity is because of the presence of being or awareness that strings together these snapshots of qualia or collected qualia, gives them a label, the physical body and the physical world. So if you understand this, then you really don't incarnate. You really don't incarnate. You fluctuate as the experience that humans call mind, body, and universe, and that fluctuation never stops. Okay? That fluctuation never stops. It appears as a fertilized ovum, a zygote, an embryo, a baby, a toddler, a young adult, an old person, and death. What is that? Fluctuations of awareness as those experiences. So, you don't incarnate, okay? You fluctuate, you vibrate, you create the experience of mind, body, universe, and it's always shifting, changing, very fast, okay? And it's ungraspable, but we can actually create and structure out of that the experience of a physical universe and a physical body. So you don't incarnate, you just fluctuate, create, and your entire lifetime is a series of intermittent fluctuations of awareness as sensations which have no geographical location, as perceptions which have no geographical location, as thoughts which has no geographical location, as images which have no geographical location, as emotions which have no geographical location. Geographical location in the theater of space-time and causality is a purely human construct with no basis, not even the basis of a logical argument for that which called physical reality, because it doesn't exist. Ramanand Dixit saying, ageless body, timeless mind. Yes, I did address that in Ageless Body, Mindless Mind, the Book of Secrets, and now Meta-Human. But that's not the point. The point is, can we have the experience that we are a conscious agent interacting with other conscious agents, sentient beings, creating the appearance of the physical world. The way you experience this book or your hand or these glasses is exactly the same way you experience the universe, the Milky Way galaxy, and even thinking about other galaxies. So it's all modified expressions of consciousness. So there is no physical body, and there is no geographical location. Your soul never incarnates. It just fluctuates. It never leaves home. And the entire world appearance, which includes mind, body, and universe, is your creation, along with other sentient beings that are embedded in a matrix of sentient beings, both human and non-human, that are projecting qualities of experience as the physical world. And why is this important? Well, if you truly understand this, then the real you is not subject to birth and death. And I've quoted the Bhagavad Gita in the past, where Lord Krishna says, the real you is not subject to birth and death. Water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it, fire cannot burn it, weapons cannot shatter it. It's ancient, it's unborn, and it is not subject to death. So why the experience of mind, body, universe? Well, I would say Leela, play, Maya, the grand illusion, and even beyond that, the fundamental reality, the ontological primitive, which is being human, being human, being as a verb, manifesting as human and the human experience. Fab Ozda asks, I am nobody. Yes, you are nobody and you are all bodies. Cindy, no reincarnation, so no reincarnation. Well, it's an illusion. You can have the experience of reincarnation, but you don't really leave home in order to have the experience of reincarnation. You just fluctuate. Javier, greetings from Chile. Greetings back to you. Katie Holmes, thanks. Lana Sue Saunders, I love you, I love you. I love you too, I love you back. Love is the ultimate truth. Somebody said, I don't understand. Well, but then revisit this topic and focus on a little bit of stillness in your mind. Okay, Katie Hunts Burling says, boom, boom, back at you. So thank you for joining me today. I hope this made some sense. But even if you say nonsense, that's true, because what I'm saying is not part of the actual experience of the senses. The senses themselves are activities of awareness, modified forms. People say, oh, there are neural correlates in the brain. But the neural correlates are also the activity of seeing. They are the activity of perception. They are created in the moment of seeing. Neural correlates do not explain consciousness. They're just another activity of consciousness. So thank you very much. I'll be continuing this conversation. I'm on my way to Portland, Oregon, and we're going to talk about the future of well-being at Nike headquarters. If you happen to be at Nike headquarters, I'll probably see you there. Take care, and knowing that you are never embodied and your body is the play of consciousness and is therefore infinitely malleable. Don't treat your body as molecules, treat your body as perceptions, and then perceptions as activity of consciousness. And if you close your eyes and feel your body and you feel nothing, then you're in perfect health. That's the ageless body, timeless mind I'm talking about. An unbounded, formless, eternal, timeless being modifying itself into the experience of physical reality, fluctuating, creating, conceiving, embodying, or seeming to embody, but not embodying. That's you. Okay, Srinivas Rao, thank you. Monesh Sinha, thank you. David Adijan, thank you. And Linda, thank you. Pierre, thank you. Livia, Viana, lots of love to you too. Heidi, thank you from Norway. But pain is real. It's a real experience. Yeah, now you reminded me of something. When you can shift your awareness from one experience to another experience, that shows you that your awareness is intrinsically free of the experience, including pain. Your awareness is intrinsically free of anything that it is aware of, including the body. How do we know that? Well, shift your awareness from pain, the experience of pain, to a memory of love and being without the experience. The very fact that we can shift our awareness from one qualia to another means that we are intrinsically free of the qualia, including the qualia that we call pain. But more on this later, because pain is real as an experience, and we need to understand how to transcend it, right? Same thing to Reese Johnson for grief. Grief has a life cycle. But we'll talk about this. You've given me ideas now on how to explore these things that we call painful experiences, including grief. Thank you.